Hey, I'm the beard guy, guns and gear, and we're freezing because the wind has picked up, the sun has gone down, and we're almost done here at the range today. But I wanted to talk quickly about sighting in a rifle, and a lot of people seem to struggle with it. And I mean, it's very, very easy. Of course, I have a lot of experience with the military, and I've sighted numerous rifles in open sights, you name it. But with a scope, it's pretty elementary. First of all, when you take the caps off on your scope, you're going to have instructions. It's going to say 1 click equals 2 click equals 1/4, 1/2. And you have to know the range for that. Typically, it'll say at 50 yards, 100 yards. This is probably the best kind of target to have for zeroing a rifle. Because if you're here, let's say where this bullet landed right here, you're too far right. So you have to move it to the left. So it even says right here, 1 left. Similarly, if you have an impact right here, they've got 2 rounds. So that's a good kind of point. I'd say the center of the group is here, but you know, he's got 2 rounds low. See, that's his only 2 rounds that he shot. Then he needs to go up 2. Okay, so these are absolutely essential. Sight in your rifle. And just because you do sight it in, that doesn't mean that you put it away and the next time you go hunting 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, that it's good. It could get bumped if you don't have a very good scope mount, or the rings are a little bit loose. It could get jostled and it could get jarred, as well as some of this, and you'll see when you adjust your scope how sound those clicks are. But it could get jostled. So you always want to check your zero before you go out hunting, and before you know, or even if you're just target shooting or whatever. If you're entering competitions, make sure you check your zero before you go into the competitions. Okay, so this is a very stereotypical hunting style rifle. This typical one, this happens to be chambered in 308, but they're all going to pretty well work the same way. It's a bolt action, right-handed bolt action. This one, particular one, is put out by Savage. The scope on it, very typical. I mean, there's lots of different brands out there, some great brands, in fact. You can spend a lot of money on optics. Is it needed? That depends on where you go hunting, but as I was saying, okay, so there's caps on the top and on the right side of the scope. If you look closely at the top of the scope, okay, there's an arrow for direction and indication, and it says 1 click. And the light is starting to fail on me, so this is obviously for your elevation. This is for your windage, or left and right. This is your elevation. Okay, so we'll see if we can get a shot in here. I don't know how clear it's going to be, just because of the light is starting to fail and we've got a roof over our heads. So some of them might be in MOA, some of them might actually be in inches. The easiest way to figure out how far you're moving, go to a standard range. Go to 100 meters. Okay, most people sight their rifle in at 100 meters. And before you even show up, if you have a good service gun store, they should have bore sighted it. So what they do is basically put a laser in the muzzle, wherever they can find the dot in a safe area. They're going to line up the crosshairs with that laser dot. Okay, that'll get to a rough sight. After that, you're going to have to come out and basically bracket. Okay, so take your first shot to see where you're landing. Go down, look at the target, and start playing with the squares is 1 inch. So if you move it 6 clicks, you want to see how much that moves it on the squares, or how many inches. Because like I said, some of the more higher priced optics are now talking about MOA, and that might be hard to figure out for yourself. But anyway, if you bracket, if you go too far, all you have to do is cut it in half or cut it in a third and come back the other way. It's very, very simple, easy to do. And this rifle has already been zeroed in, so I'm not going to play around with the clicks. I'm just going to put the cap back on, because my son, this is his very first rifle that he's purchased. It's only been fired a couple times, and that was to take a deer. So after it was zeroed, so he wants to shoot a couple of rounds. So we're gonna let him have it. Send it. Good shot. Good shot.